I started this was that I met Dr. Lori at a conference. I went to the Western A. Price conference in Alabama. And at that conference, I was very interested in learning more about dental problems and how that affects children. And talking to her about my 6-year-old, who was having a lot of different problems with heavy metals and allergies, food intolerances. And I was wondering, how her different oral structures were affecting, what was going on. In that discussion, we talked a little bit about the class that she was doing, this Buteyko breathing, which I'd never heard about. That night, I went back and looked at it, thought it was very interesting. I also heard Dr. Lori speak and thought she was very knowledgeable, and she did talk a little bit about the Buteyko breathing. And then from there, I signed up for the class. And so that's what introduced me, was actually putting my daughter in the Buteyko class. And then from there, after she took it, then I took it a month later. The symptoms that my daughter had that I was concerned about, she was having a lot of problems at school. She was going to first grade and she wasn't consistently able to recognize letters and numbers. She was having eye tracking problems. She was in occupational therapy since she was 4 years old. A lot of sensory integration, balance, core strength issues, handwriting issues, able to produce, letters and numbers, toxicity issues, allergies, environmental allergies, pet allergies, on top of food intolerances. She just seemed to be constantly sneezing all the time, whether it was during really the allergy season or not. I felt like I was constantly just giving her all sorts of allergy medication. Her sleep, I've always been very concerned about her sleep. I know I'm not a good sleeper, so that was always an area of concern and focus for me. She was actually sleeping probably at least 10 to 11 hours at night, plus taking an hour and a half nap. Then she switched to actually still sleeping 12 hours every single night as a first grader. And she needed the 12 hours. She definitely needed it. It wasn't something I was forcing upon her. So those were some of the things that, I went into this concerned about. So since we've started this, it's been great to see her progress academically. We really hit it hard when she was on Christmas break. So we made sure we got all of our exercises in. When she returned to school, the school was just shocked of the improvement she had made academically over Christmas. They were just asking me, what I did over Christmas, what type of exercises was I doing? And really, I was just doing all breathing. I never, we never worked on any academics. I feel like her sensory system has calmed down big time. Again, with the sleep, we're not having to do all this holding hands, patting down things. When she started putting tape in her mouth at night, I was like, well, I got to do this too to support her so she would be doing it. I can't believe how much that has changed my sleep and my daughter's sleep. She can't sleep without the tape in her mouth at this point. She wants it. And now she literally puts a tape on her mouth and she turns over. And tonight it took her 20 minutes to fall asleep, and it was a bad night. And she was upset that it took her 20 minutes. When before I would have been thanking God that she fell asleep in 20 minutes. Now it's usually 10, 15 minutes at the most. I feel like she's able to calm herself down more. Even though she doesn't present as an anxious kid, she's very social, she's very friendly. But when you put an academic task in front of her, she seizes up. And I think that was really related to her eye tracking. Probably since December, she wasn't consistently recognizing letters and numbers. And now we're in May, and she was reading CVC books. So she was able to read, short, easy, probably kindergarten level books. That type of progress, is amazing. We're doing addition problems. She's able to follow things better. I can definitely tell that her eye skipping is not as bad. Before we do an academic task at home, she's doing her breathing exercises, because I can definitely tell there's a difference pre and post when she does the breathing exercises. That has made a big difference. She went to an occupational therapy group. She was asked back to come back for a Saturday day that they could do activities. And the therapist was just shocked. Her leadership with the other students, her concentration with following directions, her core strength, her coordination on the ability to do the activities, to do sequential activities. She said a year ago there was no way she could do half the things that she was doing. They were shocked. She hasn't done private occupational therapy since December. So it's been 5 months. So she's only getting the occupational therapy she gets at school. If it's not, the big gross motor things that they were working on at the activities on Saturday. So she was like really surprised how well she's improved. Definitely her concentration with her physical things, with her digestion and everything. Before she was reacting to everything. We've always been gluten-free. I found out I was gluten intolerant a long time ago. She has eggs, pets, mold, grasses, everything like that. The big part of the allergy season, it was usually April around here. And I mean, she was sneezing, but definitely not to the point that she has in the past. Her digestion, she's been able to handle unpasteurized milk and cheese. And I feel like she's handling it much better than she's ever done before. Because I was part of the Weston A. Price organization, they're very focused on the dental thing. I want to make sure my daughter, luckily she has big chubby cheeks to this day, and so she has like the room for the teeth. And now we're kind of dealing with making sure that she doesn't need some like more functional orthodontics. But she actually had an evaluation done by a myofacial specialist person. Said she would typically not take such a young kid because kids her age don't know how to keep their mouth shut. They don't know how to breathe through their nose. And they can't be successful in the myofacial therapy if they can't breathe through their nose. And they said, but I can see that Madison knows how to breathe through her nose. I can see that she can keep her mouth shut. And so, and you're reporting that at night she's keeping her mouth shut. And so in that department, I was really happy to see that I'm doing something positive. Also, her mouth is shut, so her teeth will not continue to grow crooked if her tongue is pushing out the wrong way. And Dr. Lori has been awesome. I mean, we've emailed back and forth. We've talked. We've sent pictures back and forth. She has been so great and really helping me feel confident in the decisions that my dentist is talking to me about. Because, I mean, that's the thing, I don't want to mess up her teeth. Like, I have messed up teeth. I just had my mercury taken out 8 months ago. So, I mean, that's another thing that I've been dealing with, is that's been inside me. So I don't want those same dental mistakes to be made, because I think a lot of the health things that I'm dealing with are, stem from those things. Because she now has her mouth closed, we can do some more preventative, functional orthodontic things to make sure for the future she'll be straight, literally straight teeth.